Welcome to another episode of the Saturday Morning Snap Fantasy Football Podcast, the show that brings you weekly advice and news at the beginning of every weekend. Introducing first your hosts, Mack, Mark, and Landon. We are back. Live on Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play Music, or however you may be listening. We want to welcome you into the show. It is Saturday, December 1st, and this is episode 35 of the Saturday Morning Snap Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Mack, joined as always by my co-hosts, Lando and Mark. What's going on, boys?
Not too much. I'm thrilled with our new logo.
Yeah, man, me too. I was really happy with the way it came out, and just kind of perfect timing that when Mark joined, we time to rebrand.
From what I
understand,
I heard the show is about 33% better than it's ever been.
Well played, Marky. Well played, my man. So what's been going on?
I haven't talked to you guys much this week. What's been going on, Marky?
No.
How's your week been going?
Well, I've been glued to the fantasy tracker, seeing what's coming up, and it is like a do or die point in the season for any self-respecting owner if they're looking for a playoff run. And well, it's just been super exciting in that regard. So I've been ignoring all of the responsibilities of my life, pushing things to the side, sweeping things under rugs, you name it. It's all football.
Cool. How about you, Mac? How's your week been going besides real things, life things? You got football stuff, or you just got real life stuff going on?
I am. I've locked up 2 buys in 6 of my leagues. Sorry, 3 buys. So in half of the leagues I play in, I've locked up some buys, which is nice. I am grinding to get into the gridiron. Sorry, not the gridiron. The League of Record Championship. I need to get into those playoffs and get that back-to-back title. But a couple of you are making it hard on me, so that's going to be tough. I basically have to get a win against the best team this week and pray for a loss for another team. So you never like to do that, but that's what I'm up against right now.
Do a lot of guys get hard on you?
Wow.
Sorry, that was inappropriate.
Wow. Yeah. This is a family show, Landon. I have a question for you, Landon. Quick question of the day here. How many times do I have to beat you in DraftKings until I become the DFS
Every time.
expert?
I'm going to start switching my lineups to whatever you have. I came in dead last. Marky had a fire lineup, except for Cortland Sutton.
Who ended... Hey, Cortland Sutton is now... He should be banished from this podcast.
You're right.
I think.
Mark, that lineup was so good, and you had like $100 or $1,000 left, and you could have...
I know, $1,200 left over.
Yeah. I went and bought myself a used Chrysler LeBaron.
Oh wow, what a treat!
No, that was really fun. It was a really, that's the funnest part of this show is going head to head, just like it's the last week of August all over again, except you do it every week. We love that Showdown, and yeah, it was really fun. Maybe first episode luck for me, but I'm gonna swing back this week. And Landon, you can try and steal my picks on the starts of the week, but you can't steal who I've got written on this secret list over here. So
yeah,
I just assumed I'm the only one doing any work on this podcast, so I didn't think you guys checked the doc at all.
Some of us do work outside of the document, Landon.
No, I've been off all week. It's my 3rd day off in a row, so I've been going a little stir crazy in Guelph. So I've been researching as much fantasy material as I can.
As you should. You can follow the show on Instagram at Saturday Morning Snap. You can also follow us on Twitter at SMS_fantasy. You can also get Landon and Mark at Landon_SMS and Mark Draft_SMS. Quick question of the day here, boys. I had to throw this one in. It's a personal question, but what do you do in this situation? You lose your wedding ring at work. You're 100% certain that it's gone. Do you come home and tell your wife what happened, or do you stop by the jewelry store on the way home and pick a new one up and hope that she never finds out? I mean, what's the play here?
I knew this was your question. Of course this was your question. This is a terrible question. I'll let Mark answer it first and see what his take is, because I've got mine already.
You mean to say in the year 2018, you have an actual wedding ring and not an infinity symbol tattooed onto your ring finger? Please. No. You never tell them. You permanently keep your left hand in your pocket like you're a guy in a polo ad for the rest of your life.
Wow. Landon, what are you saying on this one?
Honesty is the best policy. You're going to get found out.
Of course.
If you lie and you just dig yourself a hole, you're going to get found out. What if it's not actually lost? I misplace shit all the time. And and it's in her jewelry box, and you end up getting a new one, and you're like, wait, your wedding ring's right here. I put it away for you. Oh, it's on your finger too?
She's playing games.
I've been watching this show, Sick Note, and all it is, it's Ron from, same actor as Ron from Harry Potter. And it's an English comedy. It's pretty funny, but all it is like lies. Just dig them a hole, and they get worse and worse. And if you would have just told, it's one of those shows that's funny, but it's just so uncomfortably funny.
It is really entertaining. I watched a couple episodes this week too.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, listen.
Would you recommend this so-called friend of yours?
A marriage is built on honesty and open communication. You're going to be in the doghouse for a while. You need to understand that. But at the end of the day, you need to be open, honest, and just man up and be like, look, I lost the ring. And that's exactly what my friend did.
But don't tell her you took it off to go to the bar.
No, he works construction, and he said he took it off inside of his glove, and it must have fallen out. And great
some guy named Gollum got his hands on it and is brooding in a cave somewhere.
Yeah, you hate to see it, but listen, he got the first ring for 25% off. Got this ring off for 50% off. So at this point, he's paid almost full price for the ring. So what goes around is all around.
All right.
You guys get the Trailer Park Boy reference? No? Okay, see ya.
Ain't about that life.
You got any other questions we need to answer here first?
I think we're good. I think we can answer some of these other random daily questions next week.
Why don't we jump? I like this question that you have posted here, Lando. Going through some of the rookie or the backup running backs that get their shot this week. Would you rather have Austin Eckler, Gus Edwards, or Josh Adams this week?
I think is that a Marky question? Did you put that in there, Mark?
That's a Marky.
Landon, you're here just telling us how much you've done work on the dock. It's not even your question.
So no, it's not at all.
It's questionable.
I would probably, depending on, I'm probably going Austin Eckler. He's got the lion's share of the backfield. We saw him get to work last week when Melvin Gordon went down. I think he's a lock. If he was in DFS, he would be the chalk play of the week, but he's not. He's not on that main slate. I think he's going to get that work done against Pittsburgh. We know he can catch the ball. He'll run through the tackles because they have no choice. But I like him.
For me...
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, for me, out of the three guys, Josh Adams would be the last play for me. I'd rather play Eckler and Edwards over Adams.
So the only thing I'm going to say about Gus Edwards, he has an ankle injury, and probably because he had 20 carries last week, and they were both him and Collins practiced today. So I don't know if Collins is out and Edwards is the guy. I think that's where the deal breaker is.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
What do you think,
It's a good
Marky?
point.
Yeah, Eckler would be the first back for me. He has just somehow gets a silly amount of yards every time he touches the ball, whether he's rushing or catching it. So I love that.
Yeah, because the Chargers are up by 40 every game.
It's amazing and he still really does get so many touches despite being behind Melvin Gordon. He was being touted as one of like the strongest players on that team before the season started, and I love his progression over the year. He's been amazing with that team, and even this year, being the primary this week, he looks like the best option out of these three. Gus Bus. Edwards is looking like he's probably going to get a more of a load share with Alex Collins, and Adams is still just, blossoming, I think. So I haven't had a ton of confidence in the Eagles offense recently, but I don't know. They're just three young guys that are blossoming and exploding, and for me, I really like Eckler here. Eckler, Edwards, Adams.
Yeah, I think Eckler is the guy that's taking the lead on this one. Again, Adams would be the last for me. I would consider Edwards, but you're right, Landon. Collins practicing in full definitely eats into his potential, right?
Yeah, if Collins plays, I would probably put Edwards last, unfortunately, even though I've picked him up in a couple spots and I do like him. So we'll go through. I mean, we're recording on Thursday night, so we're a little bit early with some of these news and notes, but we will give you as much information as we can. Like we said, Gus Edwards and Alex Collins practiced. Both did not practice Wednesday. So I think they're maybe limited on Thursday. Both limited. I think it could just be a veteran kind of practice day. Stephon Diggs did not practice. Devin Funchess returned to practice. Robbie Anderson returned to practice. Evan Engram still did not practice after tweaking his hamstring in pregame warmups last week. Kerryon Johnson, I'm concerned about, did not practice. And
did you see who was working out with the Lions?
Who's that?
C.J. Anderson.
So if they actually sign him, that would be not good news for Kerryon. I don't think that'll eat into his workload. But I think long term, that must not be good news for Kerryon Johnson's health if they're going to bring in CJ. And then the last bit of news, I don't know how much you put any weight on this, but Doug Baldwin says this is the best he's felt since OTAs. He's been kind of hurt all year. His involvement has not been good. However, last week he did show out fairly well, I suppose.
Bro, there are 3 receivers on the Seattle Seahawks that are showing out right now, and I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, that David Moore last week, Doug Baldwin, Tyler Lockett, those are all really trustworthy plays.
Yeah, Moore's been a spicy waiver wire guy. I've loved Tyler Lockett all year, and I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago. You kind of have to play him until he really busts on you, because he's caught a touchdown in so many of his games that you can't not play him.
The Seahawks and Russell Wilson are just a second half team. They just came to school a little bit later than the second half, but overall, I mean, I like all these players. Russell Wilson's starting to light it up too.
Any other news notes? I mean, we know the big news with Melvin Gordon, MCL's grade 2 sprain, so he'll be out 2 to 4 weeks, it looks like.
Well, yeah, lots of people on IR we didn't really talk about, but I'm sure everyone knows Jack Doyle's on IR, Andy Dalton's on IR. I'm sure
Mitch
everyone listening
Trubisky
knows.
is not going to play this weekend. Chase Daniels supposed to start again against the Giants.
Good call, Marky.
Yeah, it's tough. And then Leonard Fournette suspended for the one game. He appealed the suspension, and they denied, so he will be serving the one game. I don't know what you go into that appeal to stand on. What is your position that you're taking? I didn't do it, or I didn't mean to. But Leonard Fournette's going to be out.
The fight continued in the hallway and in the locker room afterwards. I don't know what he's doing.
Hashtag lest we Fournette.
Yeah, he's gonna.
Hey, Mack,
he's gonna be the downfall of my season right here.
How's your dynasty team looking like?
So my dynasty team is comprised of a really poor wide receiving core and 3 great running backs, which happen to be Todd Gurley, yay me, Leonard Fournette suspended and been out for like the whole season, and Melvin Gordon, MCL grade 2 sprain. So this week I need a W, and I'm gonna play Gurley, Phillip Lindsay, and TJ Yeldon.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Oh, boo.
Yeah, Marky's got.
They're good handcuffs, But
you're playing the best team in our league, so good luck, my friend.
Gonna need it.
Yeah, and you need this to get in.
So let's hop into the stream plays of the week. Mark, why don't you tell the people what a stream is? I'm sure some people don't know.
A stream is a player that you don't necessarily need to hang on to, but is typically available, and you can alternate from week to week. So typically, it's not the type of position that it's not something you typically have a running back going in and out of. If you're a successful team, you usually have guaranteed running backs.
Right.
But
you're gonna stream guys like quarterbacks, tight ends, kickers, defenses.
Absolutely. Yeah. So anyone that you might be able to switch out if you notice your quarterback has a bye, or anyone on your team is injured or questionable, you might want to stream someone.
Right. So let's go to the quarterback position. Anybody here that you are streaming this week or interested in playing that might be on your waiver wires? Lando, you want to kick it off? Because we know that you stole Mark's pick.
I'm going for my quarterback stream of the week. I am going Case Keenum. He was probably owned early on because of the high hopes of the Denver offense, but he has since been dropped. They have a great matchup this week, and just the pure volume and the game script, Denver's actually looking really good this week. I can't see them really being outplayed by Cincinnati. Cincinnati is a terrible, terrible team. There's not many worse defenses that are playing in the NFL right now. It seems like they've given up after a really good start of the week or start of the season. And although I'm not going to start Cortland Sutton if I can have an option to, I think him and Emmanuel Sanders should get the work done. And Phillip Lindsay catching passes out of the backfield. I think they're going to have their way with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Interesting. I don't mind the play. Going into the year, I thought Keenum was going to be a lot better.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be a lot better. The potential is certainly there. I mean, losing Demaryius has not been his downfall. It's just the volume hasn't been there, right?
Yep. I think he's going to be okay. I think it's a couple touchdowns, 250 yards, nothing crazy, but he's going to be feasible. Better than Carson Wentz. How about that?
I'm gonna start with mine. I'm gonna go Chase Daniels. I do like.
Hold on.
Well, you stole Mark's, right? You erased Mark's, right? Mark, didn't you have Lamar Jackson?
This was a different spot.
This is corrected.
Oh, it's been corrected. Okay. Well, I was trying to be a good team player there. Okay.
We'll let Mark talk about Lamar. You talk about Chase Daniel.
You want to go with that? You want to go with that, Marky?
Yes. Okay. So I had initially seen the matchups there, and I think I was excited as Lamar Jackson is for this matchup. He is going to use his legs, and with a little bit of uncertainty as to who he's going to hand the ball off to, there is a lot of certainty in his style of play. And he's got a ton of momentum. They've got the winning record going against the Atlanta Falcons here, who are like Swiss cheese on defense these days. I really like Lamar Jackson here. And, hopefully he keeps getting more confidence through the air, and that his receivers can answer with some better hands, because he's got the weapons, and like John Ross and Michael Crabtree. It's just drops have been kind of brutal for them at times. So I want to see them pick up and take advantage of an Atlanta Falcons team that is withering.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they do enough offensively to be fantasy relevant, but they're getting carved. this year.
It's hard to even with such a bad pass defense, it's hard to count on any Baltimore receivers right now with Lamar Jackson at the helm. However, I agree, he's a great fantasy play.
Yeah. So I'll talk to Mark's stream of the week at the quarterback position. That's still my bad, but hey, it's good to role play sometimes, right? I mean, we should be able to talk about each other's players.
That's right. We're professionals here, and this is just so exclusively planned out.
We'll speak very loosely to the professional word. But Chase Daniels. So last week, I think we all had our reservations about Chase Daniels coming in, filling Trubisky's shoes in a divisional matchup against the Lions, and he did a lot better than I thought he would do. I mean, you look at this team on paper, tons of weapons in the wide receiver core, a good tight end in Trey Burton, who's still being underutilized, but a good running game with Cohen and Howard, and he came in and was efficient. He made good reads. He was 27 of 37 last week, had 2 touchdowns for 230 yards, and he did find a little bit of space with his legs. So to me, he comes in and does a very safe and efficient job that, there's a little bit more volatility when Trubisky's there. He's shown that he can have the big plays, and he's their superstar now moving forward. But I think until he comes back, Chase Daniels is actually not a bad game. Or not a bad player. So when we talk about a streamer, we essentially are looking for about 200, 250 yards and 2 touchdowns. That gives you enough points for the week where you're going to say, if I'm starting Matthew Stafford, who would potentially be my every week starter, I might not get that out of Matt Stafford this week. So if I can pivot, go to Chase Daniels and get, about the same or even more points in a better matchup, that's a guy that I'd look to go.
That's right. And it's kind of nice to see for that offense, it's someone like Chase Daniel almost replicating the numbers of Mitch Trubisky. And on his first start, very impressive numbers. And it's good for that team who is heating up and has a tremendous record right now at this point in the season. It's great to see that even while their starting quarterback is down, that Chase Daniel can come back and fill that spot and be productive.
Right. Go ahead.
Sorry, I would argue that Chase Daniel almost passes the ball better than Mitch Trubisky.
Downfield for sure.
Gives you that running baseline, which is great for fantasy, that you've seen him blow up with 30-plus point performances. But I agree, and the pass catchers are fine in Chicago. And some people, Chase Daniel is, I'm sure you know now, he's the quarterback for Chicago Bears. He was the backup quarterback. Some people might not know the name.
That's a fair point. I should have introduced him a little bit better.
That's okay.
It was an ad-libbed play on my part.
I was actually wondering who he was. That's why I said
that. We're going to talk defensive streamers, and this is something that I do week to week. I'm sure Lando and Mark do as well. And I'm actually kind of excited to be referencing the Green Bay Packers defense this week as a potential streamer play for me. I think going up against the Cardinals in a must-win game, if the Packers want to compete at all, they're going to have to get a win, but they're going to have to do it on the back of their defense. And Arizona doesn't have a lot on the offensive side of the ball. If they can contain David Johnson, which they have been really good against the run so far this year, the Packers secondary only really have to shut down Larry Fitzgerald and Christian Kirk. So against a rookie quarterback in Josh Rosen, I like the Packers' chances to potentially grab a couple turnovers, maybe even a score, and keep it a low-scoring game. So I think you could see double-digit numbers out of the Packers' defense this week, no problem.
I like that take.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
Go ahead, Marky. Who you got at the defensive position?
I like the Eagles. They have a lot to prove right now to solidify a spot in this end of the season here. And they're playing the Redskins, who are just, I think, a little bit bamboozled right now on offense, while the Eagles have had some trouble staying healthy on the defensive side of the ball. I do think that they can shut down the Redskins this week. I really want to see some of that defensive flair that everyone was expecting from the team this year. That was what put them on the map and what got them to the championship last year. So if I'm taking a streamer defense, it's going to be the Philly Eagles against the Redskins this week.
Cool. It's funny. We're all targeting backup quarterbacks.
Yeah, opportunity is king. Opportunity is king.
Actually, and Bortles, we didn't mention that in the news and notes. Bortles is being benched.
Yeah. Now we can go to his the career that he actually wants to do, right, Lando?
In construction?
And
7-Eleven desk clerk?
No. He has this interview with this reporter in his house, and she's like, yeah, so what do you do first thing in the morning? He's like, get up, rock a piss. And then she's like, and then one of her questions is like, so Blake, if you weren't playing professional football, what would you be doing? What would be a dream career for you? He's like, I'd probably be in construction, ripping cigs.
Yes. Yeah.
So
This guy is a legend.
my
Which is short for cigarettes for you
Yes, cigarettes.
seasoned listeners. It's not a stat category in football. Professional athletes typically don't smoke.
Getting back on track, my
Thanks,
defensive stream of the week is the Indianapolis Colts. Their defense has been kind of sneakily good all season. Mm-hmm. They've just had some pretty tough matchups, and Andrew Luck's been throwing at least minimum 3 TDs every game. So the other side also needs to score points. So that's why, basically, that's how football works.
Thanks,
why,
Landon.
I mean... That's game script for all y'all out there. I just like I like the Colts this week. I like him in a lot of DFS lineups, and I'm not at all worried with Fournette out, with Bortles benched. That team is a mess. I think that's a great matchup for the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah.
Hey, I like it.
What?
Give it to us, Mark. Give us it. When are you going with that?
You want to know about my garbage tight end play of the week?
I wanted you to introduce the garbage, dumpster diving, bottom of the barrel tight end play of the week.
Well. It must be Wednesday because it's garbage day, folks. I'm taking Jonnu Smith of the Tennessee Titans. He had a massive run last week. And what was really helpful about that play was that I found out who Jonnu Smith was.
Wow. What a revelation.
That's a good way to find out.
They're going up against the New York Jets. I've got limited confidence in big breakout plays from Marcus Mariota, but if you find someone short who's open, Smith, as he proved last week, is able to take it the distance, and that's who I'm putting my garbage money on this week.
Garbage? You have garbage money?
I do. I'm actually rich with garbage.
Is that like Canadian Tire dollars?
That's right. Yeah.
Who are you putting your Canadian Tire money on, Landon?
I am going with Uzama.
Oh, CJ.
The tight end for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yes, that is correct.
Right now.
Yes, correct.
He's been a popular streamer week in and week out, and he kind of busts you, or he'll catch a couple catches, and maybe for a touchdown, but
maybe a couple patches too.
Couple patches.
Catch a couple receptions.
Why I am going with him is that with a backup quarterback in Cincinnati, he will be prone to checking down and maybe throwing the ball a little bit shorter, getting a big-bodied receiver, and that will be Uzama. We're not sure if AJ Green comes back. Even if he does, that will
He did practice today.
So he says he wants to play, AJ Green. But
Sure.
You know what? If he does play, I think that just makes the offense a little bit better. More opportunities to catch the ball. And it's not pretty. It's not nice. It's kind of smelly. But that's Uzama.
Listen. I get it. Like, who would you rather play, John Ross or CJ Uzama?
So they're the same. They might have the same stat line by the end of the weekend.
Okay. I'm going to a guy that was waiver wire hotness, Gerald Everett, tight end for the Los Angeles Rams. And if we look back 2 weeks ago-ish, he played in the greatest fantasy game of all time between the Rams and Chiefs. Grabbed 2 touchdowns, 3 for 49, 2 scores. I mean, I feel like if I was out there dressed in either uniform, I might have got a touchdown. There was just that many to go around. So I'm going to make him my start of the week just because the offense is so good and they like to spread it around. But do you guys think I'm crazy chasing the points here? Is that type of production going to be there for Everett in the red zone? Or do you think just being exposed to more red zone looks is going to be a beneficial play at the tight end position?
I can remember that one play from the second half there where Everett made that sideline grab and that footwork to stay in bounds where he took it into the end zone. That was really solid tight end work. Like, I got confidence in this Everett guy for sure. Would not call that a garbage, but I'm purely basing it on that very impressive play.
He's certainly not a blocking tight end either. I mean, when he's on the field, he's used as a weapon. You know, that's what they have Higbee for, right?
That's just what the Rams do with players right now. Like, everyone is being
coaching.
Optimized.
Good coaching.
Yeah, I don't think it's out of the question at all to chase those points. To have anyone on that Rams offense is not out of the question at all.
We're gonna jump into rookies of the week. Guys that you would play, top rookie play of the week. I'm going to kick it off. DJ Moore. He might do more than last week, which would be great.
Marky called the breakout for DJ Moore last week.
You did. We got to give you credit for that because DJ Moore was fire last week. Mark definitely planted his flag on DJ Moore. And I looked back to a podcast we did in the offseason, and we both said, it's probably not going to be too far-fetched where DJ Moore is the number one receiver in Carolina. He'll supplant Devin Funchess at some point, maybe, and that's definitely, I think, coming true. So DJ Moore is definitely the go-to guy right now for Cam Newton. Greg Olsen hasn't been doing all too much, and Funchess has somewhat disappeared. I think it's safe to say.
And sorry, I know we mentioned it earlier, but is it decided whether he's playing this weekend, Funchess, or is that questionable?
I believe he's out.
It's hard to say. I think it's a little too early. I think he actually will play. He did practice on Thursday, I think I read. So he's still questionable. There's lots of people that are questionable this week. It's late in the season.
Yeah.
We're not really sure how serious these injuries actually are. That's why you just really need to stay tuned Sunday morning for everything.
But if he doesn't play, if Funchess is out, it's a huge boost to Curtis Samuels and DJ Moore.
And that's Curtis Samuel's also questionable. So, and that's why it's most important that you do not put your people playing on Thursday night, because there's a lot of fantasy guys. Don't play them in your flex.
Yes.
Play them. It doesn't matter if they're your fifth worst fantasy player. Put them at the position that they're going to be playing. If they're going to play in your lineup anyways, put them at the running back, put Ingram at the running back, put Traquan Smith at the wide receiver spot, and then that leaves you the flexibility, no pun intended, to play all these questionable players. If one of these guys is out and you need a wide receiver spot, but you used it already, however it works, just keep it open for your flex.
That's a really good tip.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you might have something happen. Somebody goes out late, and you got to make a swap. If you leave them in the flex position come Monday when it comes down to Redskins and Eagles, and you have somebody like a Josh Doxson or a Nelson Aguilar or somebody you could throw in that flex spot, even Josh Adams we talked about earlier. If one of those guys could have gone in the flex, but you left him in there, now you don't have that option, right? So always keep those guys if you're going to play them in the positional categories. I think it's a great tip, Lando.
Cool. My top rookie, who I think is going to perform the best this week out of all the rookie candidates, and I am going with Josh Reynolds. We're gonna chase. We're gonna chase
chasing
those
them
points. And how could you not, right? With Cooper Kupp going down, that just leaves a giant opening. He was targeted 5 times, 3 receptions, 42 yards, and 2 touchdowns against was that Green Bay a few weeks ago, and then had 8 targets, 6 receptions, 80 yards, and a touchdown against that big Kansas City game that everyone watched. So I think that streak continues. Detroit, he's not going to get high-level coverage in that Detroit game, so I think that's a safe option. Hopefully he gets in the end zone.
I like it. Marky, you got a little nickname for your next boy here.
Is that weird?
No, I like it.
Yeah. Well, so rookie plays of the week. There's the obvious ones, which I don't think this show really focuses on. Like, I'm not going to be saying Saquon Barkley. I'm not going to be saying Aaron Jones.
Though. You should.
No one is listening to us for that. They're listening for the nicknames.
Aaron Jones isn't a rookie, though.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
So, my pick of the week in that regard, Justin, just joking, Jackson. He's going in as the handcuff to Austin Eckler. We're calling it the rookie play of the week because it is really quite temporary, set in this window. We know how much Rivers loves getting the ball to Eckler for check downs and flat routes. So I'm thinking Jackson is kind of one of those guys that might get, 1/4 of the carries and then maybe 5 passes thrown his way. And who knows, he might just find his way into the end zone because the blockers on that team have definitely proven themselves as able to get running backs in the end zone. So why not take a flyer on Austin Eckler's handcuff, Justin Jackson?
Is Justin Jackson now playing the Austin Eckler role?
Yes, they got a Melvin, an Austin, and a Justin.
So now Eckler is Melvin, and Jackson is Eckler.
That's right.
That's way too much to keep track of.
Melvin,
I'm sorry
Justin,
if I just rattled your brain.
Gordon, Austin. It's like a Chaucer poem when you read off that depth chart.
All right. So here's a segment we thought of, and it's going to be a time where if you're really making a push for the playoffs or you're planning for next year, are you going to stash these guys for keeper potential or maybe handcuff? If you're going to handcuff your studs, you need to drop some players. So it's going to be a stash or a trash. Are you going to stash these wide receivers so that maybe they break out come championship week and you can play them, or are you just going to trash them and have someone jump on the grenade for you?
I like it.
So Mack, who do you got as a guy we're going to talk about?
This is a player that I have struggled with all season. I only drafted him because I thought I was getting value on him, but he's had a 1 or 2 good games and everything else has been just utter trash. Is it time going into the most important weeks of the season for me to give up on Allen Robinson? Is this the point where I throw the grenade out onto the waiver wire and I get one of those other contending teams to pick him up and go donuts? Or do I keep him and hope that he breaks out with this new, Chase Daniel, higher passing offense? What's the play here, boys? Is he a stash or a trash?
I think this is a deciding week. And against a secondary where someone like him can do work. So don't get rid of him between now and Sunday. I think this will determine it. But he does have a lot of potential. I like Allen Robinson, but I'm also an owner of losing fantasy teams. So that's a player that would have been, daisies for me. I'd have loved him.
Okay. Would you start Allen Robinson over Alshon Jeffrey?
Yes.
Allen Robinson over Allen Robinson over Sammy Watkins?
Yes.
Allen Robinson over Demaryius Thomas?
Probably still, yeah. Demarius
Allen
hasn't shown me quite enough, but keep going.
Allen Robinson over Calvin Ridley.
Trash.
No.
Allen Robinson.
No.
Trash
I think
him.
that's where I draw the line.
Okay. Lando, you agree with those takes?
No, I like that though, Marky. That's good. That's good analysis. I think you're right.
That's what I secretly
potential.
want to hear.
And the problem is,
in my
Allen
heart.
Robinson has a ton of talent, and those receivers that you mentioned have really good quarterbacks. However, those players aren't necessarily the number ones on their team, where Allen Robinson was supposed to be. However, there's just not enough volume to go around, not enough quality passes.
Correct.
Taylor Gabriel actually looks great. He's getting the volume. He's just running those routes that just his quarterbacks love.
Taylor Gabriel's taking it all
Marky,
over.
who do you got for a stash of the week or trash of the week?
So fast, too. So fast.
I have got a fantasy legend, Demaryius Thomas, at a crucial point in his performance in his career. What are your guys' thoughts on Demaryius Thomas right now? He has proven himself to be a meager factor with the Houston offense, but I think it's maybe just one of those things that takes time. I'm not sure. Want to hear what you guys have to say about it.
Yeah.
Two nice touchdowns last week.
You're talking to the Demaryius
before
Thomas
that?
apologist right now.
We're not going to talk about it. No, you know what? Yes, yeah. He's been my start of the week twice, okay? And once I got him on a 100-yard game with a score. So get off my back, okay? But I actually don't.
Okay, stash him. Jeez, you stash him if you
No,
want.
I'm struggling with Demaryius Thomas as well, and that's why I asked. Would you guys play Demaryius Thomas or Allen Robinson? Because I have those two players in Dynasty, both of which are on my considerations for a wide receiver start this week. It's not that simple for me right now. If I had to choose between Demaryius and Allen Robinson this week, I'd probably still roll out Demaryius. I don't think that he's a complete trash. I think you should hold him, but it's going to be a desperation play. It's more of a depth play for me. I don't think he's going to be that guy that goes out and competes with DeAndre Hopkins for targets or involvement in the red zone. He's going to be like the third or fourth look. Oh, he's open. Cool. That's what Demaryius Thomas represents to me. In the right game,
I've
he
got
can
a
have a couple
handy
touchdowns.
For you guys.
Yeah,
this
sure.
This is hitting
nice,
me
Mark.
home. We're in the fields. So if you had, I'm gonna go in a different direction. If you had to stash one or trash one of these two guys, you have to pick one to trash and one to keep. I've got Antonio Callaway, who had a really good game last week. If Marky would have picked him in his DFS lineup, he would have won some serious quiche. Or Cortland Sutton, my darling.
The DFS expert did.
The guy that I loved all season long. And the Denver Broncos showed by releasing and trading Demaryius Thomas that they're ready for him to take that load. But he did not show out last week. He had a really bad game. And it's hurt a lot of... Well, it's hurt me anyways. Hurt me right in the feels. But if you had to pick one... And the only thing with Callaway, I'll say, is that he's had a lot of targets, but he's dropped a lot. He's had the drops lately, but he had a really good game last week. So what's your take on those two rookies?
Well, that's a tricky one. But I think Callaway, to be honest, numbers wise, I've been more impressed with him. Although Sutton has always struck me as a person with enormous growth potential, and I don't mean physically. The guy's already huge, but Callaway is to me just a bit more elusive of a player, and I think this week might be like a good showing from him, and I don't foresee amazing work from Sutton, especially now that the Broncos have established themselves so well as a running team. And they haven't even really been using Royce Freeman. Like, it's been Philip Lindsay all over the place, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if with Kerryon Johnson out, I don't think it's going to be Riddick doing the work on that offense.
What do you think
it's going to
there,
be,
Mac?
I think it's going to go to Callaway. So, stash Callaway, trash Sutton.
Oh. I hate to say this, but I would stash Cortland Sutton and I would trash Antonio Callaway. But I would stash Cortland Sutton with the promise to myself to never play him again this season. That would have to be the condition of the stash, because I think he's just too unpredictable. But looking for next year, he is a physical specimen, 6'3", 190, 200 pounds. The guy is a monster. And if given the right opportunities, could be really, really good. And if you're in a keeper league where you can keep him for, 11, 12, 13 round value next year, that's going to be amazing for your team. But if I was going to stash him, we cannot play Cortland Sutton again this year, especially going into playoff weeks. I can't do that to myself. So that would be the condition for me.
Yeah, that's a fair take, I think.
Okay.
Sneaky starts of the week. Sneaky snarts, however you want to say it. Guys that might be not auto starts, obviously. You're not no studs on this list, but guys that are outside that you wouldn't really think about going with. I don't really know how to explain to it any better. Mm-hmm. They're not on anyone's favorite list. They haven't really performed very well this week, but you just have a sneaky feeling inside that these guys are going to show out. They could be in a lot of DFS lineups, whatever you think. We'll start with you, Marky. Who is your sneaky start of the week?
I think Dion Lewis. I just have this feeling it's not going to be a Derrick Henry week, because it never is. So it's going to be, I think, Dion Lewis here. They're going up against the Jets, who have been flaky all over the place. Again, it's not like the Titans are going to show out. They have one of the weakest running offenses and pass offenses. But I think this might be a week where they take some of the successes that they had, however few they were last week, and they can build a little bit. Starting Dion Lewis against the New York Jets.
And that is quite ballsy, Mark, because if you look at Dion Lewis's numbers, he has not been productive. No. So I love that pick. That's a great pick, and he will surprise most, but not you this week if he performs big.
Mm-hmm.
So Mac, you gonna take my guy here for sneaky start of the week?
I thought I would pull a Landon and and steal some picks. But yeah, I think Chris Connolly is an interesting play for the Kansas City Chiefs. The only way that I would start him in a season-long league is if Sammy Watkins doesn't play this week. I think if Sammy plays, there's just not enough targets to go around, and Chris Connolly will be irrelevant. But if Sammy goes out and doesn't play this week, I would start Chris Connolly to fill that Sammy Watkins role, because in the greatest fantasy game that we've seen in a year, 2 years, it's certainly there. The potency of that Kansas City offense is sky high, and Chris Connolly could find himself getting a couple red zone looks, breaking off a long play. I certainly think he's worth a look. If you're really, really desperate, you're playing like a 16-team league, Chris Connolly could be a scoop and play this week.
Cool, I like it. So we'll wrap this up quick. Our little fun little questions here. What's a player outside the top consensus, outside the top 12, that actually could finish number one, like how Amari Cooper did last week?
Yes,
he had a completely blow up game. He surprised everyone. It could be a running back, could be wide receiver, could be a quarterback for all we know. Doesn't matter. Who is your guy, Mackenzie, who's a guy that could finish number one. Might have to have 3 touchdowns, but who do you think it could be?
We're going to go rapid fire here. I'm going to kick it off. Chris Carson, Seattle Seahawks running back.
Marky, who you
Love
got?
it. I got Nick Chubb here. Last 2 games, this guy has been a monster, and Baker loves him, and he's going to keep getting the ball anytime he can.
Yep. I'm going Josh Gordon. I think that should be a great game against Minneapolis, and he could get a couple touchdowns and could get 150 yards. So that's who my guy is that could finish number one. So how much time we got here, Mac? What are we thinking?
We got time for a little DFS DK Live Showdown if you boys are interested in getting your butts whipped again.
Sounds good.
Nope. I'm actually going to take off. Here.
Okay, that'll do it for this episode of the So we're doing what? The 800K play action $3 contest here, boys?
That's the one. It's a tournament. We're not going to go with those safe cash plays. We're going up against each other, but we're also going to go
sometimes you got to get a little you got to get a little greasy and take Antonio Callaway, you know?
That's your first pick?
I like it.
No. Is that your first pick?
Mark, try to use as much of your cash as you can.
Yes.
I don't want to see you leaving $1,200 on the line again.
Okay.
So last week's finish was me at 183, Mark at 178, Landon at 141, 142.
Something like that, 140 something.
So Mark, do we want to gift Landon first pick here?
Yep, let's do it.
Okay, so we'll go Landon, Mark, Mack, and then Mack, Mark, Landon back in that order. Snake draft, boys.
Perfect.
Kick us off.
I'm gonna take one of your guys. I'm taking Kirk Cousins at $5,500.
Such a jerk,
play a quarterback.
Man. Such a jerk.
DraftKings has a tendency to wait a couple weeks before they update their pricing.
Right.
And Kirk Cousins is just so cheap after that big performance.
Yeah.
Against a pretty tough defense, right, Mac?
Good pick.
Go ahead, Mark.
I'm gonna.
Who has more holes in their
momentum?
Who has more holes in their defense? Packers or the Falcons? Sorry, anyways, keep going.
Packers, way better.
I'm gonna keep my momentum from last week and stick with the same guy, and that's Jameis Winston.
Famous Jameis.
That's
good. Since you two have quarterbacks, I am going to pivot. Christian McCaffrey is far too expensive for me at $8,800. He is playing Tampa Bay, so you could get that, 40, 50 point performance again.
He's going to be chalk again, I think. He had such a good line. He had 50 points on DraftKings last week.
Oh, just a machine. I'm going to go with Kareem Hunt. KC at Oakland, a great matchup. Kareem Hunt, $7,800, starting off big.
I knew you were going to go Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, it's just too tempting, man. It's just so nice.
He's going to be chalk too. He's going to be highly owned.
Hey guys, Mack here. Just jumping in to do some final edits. It is late into Friday night, and the news came out that Kareem Hunt has been released by the Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm going to have to make a different pick in this DraftKings contest, but yes, Kareem Hunt is no longer playing for the Kansas City Chiefs, was released today by the team after video evidence had surfaced about an alleged altercation he got in with a woman last February in a Cleveland hotel. So, just wanted to put that out for you guys, and hopefully you enjoy the rest of the draft. But Kareem Hunt is out.
I spend up at running back. I'm going to spend down at defense and get the boys I believe in. Green Bay, $2,800. Mark, back to you.
Okay. Let's go. I think I'm going to go wide receiver here. I think I'm going to go with...
While we have our health.
Yeah, sorry. I'm going to go with Galladay. I'm going to go with Galladay at $6,700.
Kenny Galladay going a little cheaper. I like it. I'm going to go
Interesting.
Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones against Arizona. He is going to be a highly owned guy too, but I think he's going to have a good game. And then I get one more pick.
Yes, that is correct.
That is how it works. I'm going to go Philip Lindsay at 5,400.
Okay.
Getting my cheaper running backs out of the way.
Okay.
Marky?
I am thinking I'm going to spend up a little bit. So I think I'm going to go in my running back. I'm going to take Nick Chubb.
The Chubster.
That's
Your guy.
7,000.
Ooh, he's 7 Gs?
He's expensive, yeah.
Okay. I got a part of the Chiefs offense. I got to get a part of the Rams offense. Gerald Everett, $2,900. What a value play. And in a GPP, you need a guy like this to have a good week in order to maybe get some big money. Because you're not going to be able to afford every single, stud-like player. So you need to spend down sometimes, either defense or a tight end position or a flyer wide receiver. So this has typically been my strategy. I like to spend down and leave myself a lot of capital for the end and make my decisions there with whatever you guys leave me. DJ Moore, my first wide receiver at $5,600. So I got Hunt, Moore, Everett, Packers D. Looking good.
I've got Cousins, Jones, and Philip Lindsay to start off mine.
My
Mark.
pick here, I think.
It is Mark.
Yep.
Okay.
Landon was about to cut you off again.
Yes. I think I'm going to go... oh, damn you for taking him. I think I'm going to go... MVS at 52.
Oh, I like
Marcus
it.
Valdez Scantling.
I like it.
Wow.
It's big
That
boy.
is
That's big boy
interesting.
plays right there.
That is indeed. I'm going at the wide receiver position. I think, I think I'm going to go Emmanuel Sanders. He has been really consistent every single week. He showed out for you last week, Mac, and I think he's going to... I got two Denver guys, but it's a great matchup against Cincinnati.
Yep. You might as well grab Cortland Sutton while you're there, too.
Anyone, that should be my motto, anyone but Cortland. And at the tight end position, I'm going to go cheap while I still can get him. I'm going to go Cameron Brate for $3,700. Just to lock that guy up. His money has not updated yet. He's still pretty cheap.
I'm going to take Trey Burton at 38.
Pretty
Wow.
cheap too.
Yeah, that's good. It's good value. Back to me, eh? All right.
Yep.
Like I said, you guys are going to think that I'm a little bit crazy here. For $5,300, I'm going to draft Josh Allen. And I'm not proud to draft
that's
Josh
a
Allen.
cheap quarterback.
The cheap quarterback. He runs a lot. Had a huge week last week at only $4,400 at 27 points. So it's against the Fish divisional matchup. We could see some stuff from the Bills we don't expect, and might be on the back of Josh Allen. So we're gonna take a shot there and go Josh Allen. And I need another wide receiver, I think. So we're going to scroll down and try and find another value play. Is $5,800 a value? You know what? I'm going to buy into the Doug Baldwin hype, and I'm going to play him against the 49ers at $5,500. Doug Baldwin.
Okay. I'm going to spend up a little bit more at the wide receiver spot. I am going with T.Y. Hilton at $6,000. Tough matchup against Jacksonville. He won't be very highly owned. He's got a questionable take beside him right now. I think he plays. I think it's still going to be good.
Interesting.
Okay. I think I'm gonna go running back here. And it's kind of a tricky one this week with Mack on the concussion protocol. I think I'm gonna spend. I think I'm gonna get Nyheim Hines at 41.
Oh
I don't mind that at all.
no.
All right, I've got the rest of my.
No, it's mine.
It's me, right? Oh, it's
No.
you.
Or is it Lando?
It's you, Mac.
I don't know. Yeah, it's you, Mac.
You sure? Because it went me. Who did you pick between me and Mark?
TY. Did I go? I need to go twice in a row.
Sweet.
Yeah, correct.
That's what it was. Okay, I'm gonna just get the Colts defense as well on my team.
I like it.
Okay, back to you, Mac.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here asking myself how Lamar Miller is worth like nothing. Like after
Good call.
after his game last week, I know that they play the Browns this week, but Lamar Miller is virtually worth nothing here. $4,600 is crazy. He's in the realms of the Tevin Colemans and Duke Johnsons and Kenyon Drakes. I know they're playing Cleveland, but I don't think it matters, man. Lamar Miller, $4,600. I think that's a steal.
That's an absolute crazy play. I like that.
I like that too.
So I got two players left, $77.50 a piece. I would like to save some cash in my flex spot to see who you guys leave me. So let's see who I can get at wide receiver to complement my three boys right here. You already took Hilton, Lando?
Yep.
Oh, look, Allen Robinson.
You gonna stack anyone with your quarterback or playing him naked?
No, yeah, he's going in there naked. There's nobody. I'm not playing Kelvin Benjamin. Are you kidding me? I'd rather shoot myself. Oh man, who's going to be the guy that gets it done this week? Is Woods or Cooks on the table still?
Yep.
Yeah, they both are.
Give me Brandon Cooks. Actually, no. I switch. I don't want Brandon Cooks. I want Robert Woods. Because Darius Slay is probably going to be on Cooks most of the game. So I'm going to go with Robert Woods.
Okay.
And it's back to you, Marky.
Okay. I'm going to go... I think I'm going to go John Brown for 44 for my third wide receiver spot.
Ooh,
Interesting.
digging deep.
I'm gonna go stud wide receiver. I am going Adam Thielen to stack with my Kirk Cousins.
Mm-hmm.
And with my final pick, right? I'm going twice in a row.
Mm-hmm.
I've got $5,800 left. I'm gonna go Tariq Cohen against the Giants.
Ooh, I like it.
$5,600. I've got $200 left.
Okay, so this is... I love the idea to save money until the end, because this leaves me with my flex position. And even if I go ham right now, I can still get some shit. So I'm going to go...
You did it
I'm
again.
going Christian McCaffrey for my flex.
Ah, no.
Yeah, he does.
You jerk.
How much money do you have left,
Yes.
Mark, now?
0.
$4,000.
You've got to have like nothing left.
No, he's serious.
I'm serious.
Oh, right, because it's coming back. Oh, yeah, right. 4,000. Okay. I got 8,600 left. DeAndre Hopkins, 82. Go for me.
Okay.
Don't love it. Don't love the lineup, but this might be where I lose this week.
Okay.
I would make some
I'm
changes.
going to go ahead and take the Seahawks defense for 34.
Oh, there we go. All right.
Oh, you had
We're
4,000 for a defense?
34 for.
You're set, bud.
Oh, I got $600 left.
That's half of what you had last week.
I'm learning.
You are. Still better than Landon, though.
He will probably beat me. I think I'll just go ahead and switch my lineup now to whatever you guys have, and I'll be good to go.
Correct.
All right, that's all the time we have for today's episode, right?
That is correct. We want to thank you guys for coming by, checking out the podcast, hanging out with us. We will be around on Sunday morning. If you have any last-minute questions, start, sit, DFS questions, we're here to help. You can join us on Sleeper. The episode link, the channel link will be in our episode description if you follow on Apple Podcasts. And I think that's all we really have to say, eh, boys?
We love all of you.
That's everything.
This is now the Careverse.
Yeah, we appreciate everyone listening, and hopefully you have a good weekend and enjoy the game Thursday night.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you guys on Sunday.
Bye.
Hey, see ya.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Saturday Morning Snap Fantasy Football Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at SMS_fantasy. Support this independent podcast at patreon.com/SaturdayMorningSnap.